Good morning. My name is Gila, and I'm a mom living in Alberta, Canada. Today, I want to talk about my experience with Hyperemesis Gravidarum. And I also want to share that I took my first 500 milligram dose of Metformin last night. And so far, I feel great. I was honestly a little nervous to start because I'd heard so many stories about bad side effects, but so far, nothing like that is happening for me. Just a second here. So, what's interesting is that I'm not the typical candidate for metformin. My blood work has always come back normal, but I'm taking it because of emerging research suggesting that it might help prevent hyperemesis gravidarum, or HG, if taken before pregnancy. HG is severe vomiting during pregnancy. It's not normal morning sickness. And I just want to add that this is not medical advice. It's just the path that I'm trying with my own care team based on research. And I'm hoping to get pregnant again after a history of severe HG. And I'm trying something new based on that research to see if I can prevent it. When I was pregnant with my daughter in 2019, I was sick from about 7 weeks right until I gave birth. I barely gained any weight, maybe 10 pounds, and my daughter was almost 9 pounds. I kept being told that it would get better, so I held on, but it never did. I was constantly nauseous, vomiting after eating, severely constipated, and struggling to keep food and water down. My pregnancies since having my daughter were much worse. The sickness would start again around 7 weeks, but this time I couldn't even keep any water down. I was bedridden most days while trying to care for my daughter and barely surviving myself. Those pregnancies ended in miscarriage or termination because I couldn't physically make it through. What made it even harder was that most medical providers treated it like it was normal morning sickness. I kept hearing that it'll pass, or this is common. I felt like a nuisance going to the ER for IV fluids, even though I couldn't drink any water. My last pregnancy, I lost 30 pounds in under 2 months. That was taking diclectin, Zofran, and every constipation medication that you can think of, just to somewhat function. And before that pregnancy, I tried so hard to find a doctor who would understand how severe my sickness during pregnancy was. The doctor that I was seeing before getting pregnant promised that he would help me. And then when I did get sick, he told me to go to the ER for IV fluids. After that, I started reading more research myself, and that's when I found new studies on Hyperemesis gravidarum and the hormone GDF15. And I learned there might actually be a way to prevent HG by using metformin before conceiving. There is an ongoing clinical trial in the United States studying this exact approach right now, but being in Canada, it made it hard for me to find a provider that would prescribe it to me. Even with the research, a lot of the doctors that I spoke to didn't feel comfortable prescribing it off-label. But eventually I did find a nurse practitioner who consulted with a gynecologist, and they both agreed that they were willing to try a preventative approach instead of waiting until I was already severely sick. And part of the reason that they agreed is because metformin is extensively studied during pregnancy, not pregnancy. It's considered very safe, and there's just so much research on it. I'm also 41 and a half, which I feel like adds to everything. I feel like I'm running out of time, and my daughter is now almost 7. And I've never had any trouble getting pregnant, but it always felt like some kind of cruel joke that I would get pregnant immediately and then get debilitatingly sick. So this research gives me some hope. Scientists are finally starting to understand HG. I'm going to share some of the studies that brought me to here, where I am right now. The first study is called the Nature study, which was published in 2024. Research has found a hormone called GDF15, which plays a big role in nausea and vomiting during pregnancy. This hormone comes mostly from the placenta and the fetus, not from the mother. So women with HG tend to have higher levels during pregnancy. And the key finding is that women who have lower GDF15 levels before pregnancy, so they have lower baseline levels, seem to be more sensitive to the sudden rise. So it's not just how much hormone there is, it's how sensitive your body is to it. So this helps explain why HG isn't psychological or caused by stress. It's a biological response to a hormone surge. The second study, the Cell Trends in Molecular Medicine paper, also published in 2024, which talks about how scientists now think HG may happen when your body is extra sensitive to the rise in GDF15. Metformin is known to increase GDF15 levels before pregnancy. The idea is that exposure beforehand might desensitize your body, making symptoms milder later. I don't know if this will work for me just yet. It's the first time research has actually made sense of my experience, so I'm pretty excited and hopeful. If this works, it could change everything for people like me with HG. So I'm documenting the whole process. I'll keep you updated, and yeah, we'll chat soon.